Good afternoon, everyone out there in YouTube land. My name is Jared, and this is my channel, Mazda B3K. In this video, we're going to be replacing the clearance bar light on my 1989 Ford F350 named Bertha. Without further ado, let's get started. So your first question might be, what is a bar light? A clearance bar light. It's this guy. So you see 3 red lights. It means it goes on the back. And you're probably wondering, well, why do you need it? Or why would I want it? And if your vehicle is over 80 inches wide, which Bertha is because she is a dual rear wheel vehicle, which means you've got these skirts that come out, make her over 80 inches wide. According to the Federal Department of Transportation, that means you need these marker lights on the side. You need these cab lights up top, sometimes called chicken chasers or chicken lights. But you also need the bar light. And the bar light mounts like that. That's how it was mounted, and it was quite broken. And it also stuck out far enough that when I put my replacement tailgate on there, it touched. So that's no good. In my case, I have ordered a new bar light. I'm going to make it work, but it mounts differently. So we gotta take care of this first. So let me go show you that new light. Here is our new light. It does not have a metal frame. It's a polycarbonate plastic. I hope it'll last. It won't rust at least. And these are incandescent lights. If you have an 89, it was the first year of the E40D fully electronic transmission. And it is very sensitive to LED lights for various reasons. So your best bet when you're doing lights on this thing is, unless it's your headlights, do incandescents. So these are actually incandescent lights. They are serviceable. You can take this off in the back, pop the assembly out, service it. I have tested this with a little 12-volt source I have. It does work. This is more of a universal bar light. Ford does not make the one that is specific to the 80s and probably early 90s F350s and above. So the universal ones, generally how they work is they have a ring terminal here that is your ground, and you're supposed to take this and screw it into the frame somewhere so it can ground. And then this guy here, the black, is your positive line. Now, I'm not going to do it that way because it's an incandescent. It does not care about polarity, and I don't have to worry about the flow of electricity to make it work as long as all the wires match. So all that being said, let me show you what I did that's going to make this clean and tight. All right, so what I did is I chopped the Ford connector pigtail off the old one because there's nothing wrong with the pigtail. And you'll see that wires are white and black. So in this case, the black should be the ground, the white should be the positive or the hot. And then if you come here, this is the other side of that connector right here. And if you take a look, if the camera will oblige, you get a white wire and a white with red stripe. Now I know from some other work I had to do to this truck, that white with red stripe is a hot wire, which means that we're going to want to connect our white to white with red stripe and our black, which should be our ground, to the white here. Now, I am going to test that just to make sure I'm not wrong. I'm going to take a meter and I'll put it in here, and that'll tell me, which way the electricity is flowing, so I'll wire it correctly. But basically, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it on this, and then I can just plug it in, need as you please, and we're good. So one last problem we got to work on here, which is you can see the mounting points are located kind of at the third mark on either side, right? Because somebody hooeyed this, if I try to put it back where it needs to be, roughly around here, you see we have a problem, which is that we would be trying to run a screw into air, which is no bueno. So we need to bend this metal back out. Doesn't need to be perfect, but it does need to be bent back out. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to place 2x4 about right there. And then I'm going to use this C-clamp, and the big side of the clamp I'm going to put on the back side of this, because this metal's not crazy thick. As you can see, it's not thin, but nor is it crazy thick. And then I'm just going to start cranking on this clamp, and I'm hoping I've got enough hand strength that it's going to push against the 2x4 and it's going to pull this metal out. I will let you know how that goes. All right, let's see what it does. Never done this before. I can see it's trying to push off center. Yeah, I can't really see any improvements, but I think we are. Or at least the wood's getting shoved in. And we're sliding down the 2x4. I'll slide off here in a minute. Oh. Let me go underside and see what that looks like now. All right, folks, keep your eye on the meter. I'm going to go ahead and probe out this connector and see which is what. So let's see. All right, so I was correct. White with red stripe is our hot, and just regular old white is our ground. So that means I'm gonna go ahead and we'll get our stuff spliced in, and I'm gonna go with our black being the ground. Actually, it's even more simple than that. I know what the pinout's gonna have to be, because, let's see if I can get you over here. There we go. This is a keyed connector, right? So it's got to go in like this. And when you look at it like that, it's real easy to see what goes to what. So white is our hot and black is our ground. There you go. And that's when you normally see a black and a white, that's normally how it goes. The white is the hot, the black is the ground. So now that I got that, I can go ahead and get this joker wired up, and then I'll plug it in and test it. Go ahead and get this to go together. There it goes. All right, cool. Let me turn this off so I don't pop a fuse or something. Well, I totally meant to be recording all the work I just did to put this together. Yeah, I didn't hit the button. Whoops. So anyway, what I was saying is this is not protected by a fuse. It is protected by a fusible link, because the power for this actually comes from the trailer tow relay. And I'm going to make another video about how I figured all that out. It was completely busted up on this truck, and there was a burned out wire and stuff and things. But this particular circuit is also the circuit that powers those marker lights you saw on the fender skirts, because this is a dual rear wheel. Same circuit runs those lights. But then your cab lights, your cab clearance lights, those are on actually a fuse protected circuit. So yay Ford. Anyway, let me go pull lights on and let's see these light up. You have to tell me. How about that? They lit up and the truck is not melting down. That's cool. I still have both my tag lights too. See, this is kind of important to me. This is the last set of external lights I gotta fix. After that, this truck is once again legal. From a light perspective, it has all of its DOT required lights. So now we just gotta, we'll heat shrink this right here. And then I've got some self tappers and we'll just bloop bloop. And we'll knock it in there and it'll be good. All right, one last quick modification I made is I noticed that these wires were gonna get pinched. So I cut a notch in the frame there so the wires have a place to go whenever I go to screw this in. So that way we don't wind up with pinched or cut wires, which would not be a good thing. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is a new day. So as you can see, I finally got this where I want it. Didn't really do anything noteworthy here except for I just had to do a lot of test fitting to figure out where to put these lights to where, number one, they're visible with the tailgate closed, which you can now see they're visible. And number two, that you can now open the tailgate fully and it does not touch the lights. I had to beat the metal in slightly to make it work. Even though technically this tailgate came from like a 92 or a 93. And technically that's compatible with an 89, but I think the 89 tailgate's just a smidge different to where you don't have as much of a clearance problem with your bar light. But that's all fixed now. Like I said, I had to beat the metal in a little bit, but it is good. And as you can see, it is lighting up. All my stuff's lighting up now. With this, all lights now work on the outside, and at least for exterior lights, this truck is now road legal. And I got a tailgate. So I got to put the bumper back together, but otherwise we are good. Uh-oh, we're not good. Okay, so that's a loose wire. I got to figure out what's going on with the other one. All right, looks like I got to fiddle with this a bit, unfortunately. And then I'll be good. Well, quick fix. It's the positive wire. The grounds are fine, but the positive wire is flaky, even though I packed it with RTV. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be able to do about that. And sort of, I may take this back off, take the bulb out, and just, I don't know, try to sneak some RTV directly on the backside so it can't wiggle backwards any. Or maybe see we have a dirty contact I can clean or something. But they're working now. So this is a good repair. Alrighty folks, that's going to do it for this video where we installed or replaced the clearance bar light on my 1989 Ford F350 named Bertha. If you found this video interesting, if you found it entertaining, if you found it useful, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. That does help to grow the channel, which allows me to bring you more videos like this. And also, please leave a comment. I like to read them, I like to reply to them, and I like to learn from them. And lastly, guys, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. I'll catch you guys next episode.